Oh, Anthony's on board. Good morning, Anthony. We have just the guitars in hand, and the point is to work on practicing these exercises together. And we'll start now. One, two, and you know what to do. Snap on guitar. That's great. Yeah, you can email me at jasoncarey@gmail.com. Any of those inquiries, that's great. You might, person will review those emails and see what he asked. If you have a proposal, that's great. Love to hear about that. Working on Brooklyn, Stillwater last night, long time. Played G, very cool. G's very cool gang stuff. I forget if I have that song on my channel or not. If I don't, I should. So 1E and a 2E and a 2E and a 4E and a figures 2 and 3 on 11 and 12. Just working on me. Really trying to get with my right hand at this point. Neither my toes, my legs, contrary to popular always have a tambourine under my toes. But I do like to let the metronome do the heavy lifting once in a while and just be observant. It's similar to the way my transcription is to observe the metronome going by, just be observant of time passing and how all of the notes that I'm playing, that we are playing, relate to the passage of time. And the electric guitar is a completely different animal, isn't it? It's just a beautiful, beautiful experience to be part of a culture that, a space and time where you have electric guitars to play. Fingers 1 and 2, let's try that. 1, 2, and a 2, and a both. So I'm really working on minimizing my picking hand approach while maintaining my breath, my quality breath. And certainly just awareness of my breath. What happens if I work the pick as tightly as I can? Well, number one, it will not fall out of my hand onto the stage. It will stay in my hand, but it will have a different impact on the strings because we will be transferring energy more directly from the pick to the string. Now, if I hold the pick a little lighter, I have a little less control. There's a little bit more movement in the picking hand. The pick wobbles a bit, but it is a different tone. It's really easy for me to get excited and overlook that simple difference, those simple differences between gripping the pick. So fingers 3 and 4, once again on frets number 10 and 12. 1 E and a 2 and a T and a 4. Let's get the light numbers going today. Man, that's great. Love that. Here we have 9 lights. So if you're here, and if you're not here, well, I guess you can do what you got. But if you are part of this live regular scheduled program of practicing the guitar as a warm-up instrument and a warm-up process, you definitely could, appreciate and sharing or making known that this is available in warnings. Certainly couldn't hurt anything. But I firmly believe that everyone who's going to be here will be here. And certainly will be here for the remainder of 2025. 1 and 2 fingers, 2 and 3 go. By the end of this session, we will be in the last 15 minutes or so. We'll be, neck deep into the Eric Johnson Cliffs of Dover warm-up process. So 1 E and a 2 E and a D, 1 and 2, 11 and 10, 11. 1 and 2, here's 1, 2, 10, 12. 3 E and a go E and yeah, it's a lot of tests. Good morning. Johnny Cash is heard. That's a great, great album, great recording. I love how on that album, those albums, he was as he was sort of reaching the end, He takes all these those songs and have 5 or 6 different really colorful chords, and then he basically reduces those songs to 3 chords, triad chords, typical Johnny Cash style. Just really great. Taking the song, taking the piece of music, and moving it from a place that you found it, and absorbing it, assembling it, and then repurposing it as something that is your own. That's a really, both he and Alison Krauss is really great at doing that too. They're really great at just turning the song into their own things, right? So fingers 2 and 4, we're just going to continue down this stretchy road. Fingers 2 and 4, 9 and 12. 1 and 2 E and a D and a 4. There we go, just starting over a minute. Just getting that right and that picking hand sort of dial up. I think I've got it settled down. And I'm also working that fret hand. That fret hand is really starting to comply with the stretches I'm asking you to do. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing that joy, but I'm definitely experiencing that joy. What I'm trying to do when I reach the top of that pattern where we come back to the high E string and we shift position up, I want to try not to just pop that high E string off of me. Sometimes I get excited as I get up to the top of the string set, and it will cause me to pluck harder, but I don't really need to do that. I have better tone if I pluck lighter at the high end. There's not a whole lot of mass there, so the tone is better if I just kind of lay back a little bit on the pick. So 1 and 2 E and a D, fingers 1 3, same thing. That's 6 19 right over some. Yeah. So what's that? if you're just tuning in, I wanted to take a minute and let you hear that there's more than control for guitar growth right here in basic repertoire. So if this is something that you would like to do, I would encourage you to grab a guitar here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. This time of year is Eastern Daylight Time, if that makes a difference to you, and maybe it does. So I would encourage you to bring a guitar, show up and play along with us for warm-ups. Firstly, we dial in. Thank you very much for the compliment on the guitar. Firstly, we dial in 60 beats per minute on the metronome. Let this run. Let this run its course. And until the battery runs out, I guess it will continue to run its course. Sir, how to practice bar chords for beginners. The cool thing about this live chat is there are a lot of guitar players here who are accomplished, who are totally capable of answering these guitar-related questions. So don't hesitate to ask those questions, but what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about how to practice bar chords for beginners as we start this next finger exercise. So stick around, you might like what you see. So we were on fingers, let's see, 1 and 3. Now let's go ahead and do fingers 1 and 4. We'll kick that back. We'll stretch it from, we'll start on position number 12, and 12, and 14, 15, 16. Okay, 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do. Develop some, you know what to do, where a bar chord experience can be a very challenging experience. So it's a very challenging experience, potentially. So what I need to do is I need to, before I remember learning bar chords and thinking, this is going to be a challenge, this is going to be a real challenge. So I'm going to rise to the challenge by learning some finger independence first. So let me show you I'll show you what we can do, even if we do not have a guitar in hand. How to get that, while you might be at work, in the office, or on the road, in the automobile. So we'll talk about that right now. So I really like to keep this thumb as my fretboard. So the fretboard, let's imagine that these fingers are my fingers. Thumb is the fretboard of the guitar, and I'm just working on getting one finger there, basically leaving all fingers unused, and then just reaching to the fretboard and coming back, fingers 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then fingers 1 and then 3, and then 2, and then 4, and then 2, 3, 1, 4. And you can create all of these exercises. You can use fingers 1 and 3, you can use 1 and 2, you could use 2 and 4, you could use 3 and 4, you can use all of these exercises. You could work on playing through the minor pentatonic. E, G, A, B, So that's a good place to start, right? Now what we need to do is remember that we have this first finger borrowing over all of the 6 strings, right? So all of the 6 strings, and then now what we need is the capabilities to keep one finger straight and then barred and the other fingers arched. So those that exercise is really important to do, and you don't need a guitar to practice bar chord technique. Just I'm working on keeping the thumb behind the neck, first finger barring all of the strings, stopping all of the strings, and then keeping that straight while we arch all of the other. Oh, as soon as I arch this finger, I want to arch my first finger. But what I remember to do is take my thumb, breathe, and then arch all of the other fingers while maintaining the straightness of that individual finger. Okay, so that's a challenge that you can work on for a few hours a day, or a few hours over the span of a week maybe. So let's go ahead and take a look at figures 2, 3, and 4, frets 10, 11, and 12. Right back into the 1E and a 2E and a TE and a GO. Two telephones full, so it's really just a matter of just walking, sprinting a pole, walk the next pole or two, sprint another one, and then just kind of keep dialing it back in. So I've worked on that problem, solving that problem here in the morning ritual for myself, because if I do your math, what is it if I play 16th notes, or if I play 16th note triplets at 60 beats per minute? What is the equivalent at 90 beats per minute? Yeah, those are the things I think about. So 1E, and I really want to keep it consistent for me. Every morning I want to hear 60. This is my point of reference, and then fingers 1, 2, and 3, 10, 11, and 12. 1E and a 2E and a TE and a OE and a... Hey, Milkman's kid, what's going on? She's sustained, that's great. ahead and stretch real quick. So straight elbow, and that's what I'm doing right now. We're gonna get that straight elbow in there, and then that quick stretch, just 15 clicks here. 15 clicks is all we need. Now's a great time if you have questions because I'll be here for another 40 seconds. 50 seconds, 45 seconds here and now. If you have questions, now's a great time. If not, then that's excellent. We'll continue moving right along. I just really appreciate you being here. This morning is you know, it's kind of day 2 of the week of our guitar work week. We'll call it the work week. And we're talking about, well, basically revisiting Mr. Eric Johnson's Calypso Notebook piece of music. His guitar work, the Texas Ranger himself. And then we've got this really nice, the Tone Ranger. The Tone Ranger is what, he's a Tone Ranger. He's what we call a rare bird. And for certain, he's got this really great technique, and he likes to use octaves and fifths a lot. And then by using roots and fifths a lot when he's playing, you can really benefit from hearing those color tones apply. So I'm going to stretch my shoulders back just to get rid of this, you know, sort of dragon posture. All right. Hello, are you practicing monochromatic scales, or what notes are you hitting? Oh, that's it. That's how I look at myself in the mirror every morning and I say, man, what notes are you hitting? See you later, Sky. Gotta go catch you all tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful morning. Good catch, Bernard. So 1E, I'm using fingers 1, 2, 3, 4 on frets 9, 10, 11, 12. This is specifically designed to exercise the fingers, and it's one of those things that I do for, I'll play this for the rest of my life, right? And the variations there, right? So 1E and now we're using six attacks per beat. And this will be a little different for me because the electric guitar, my picking sequences feel a little different on the electric guitar. So let's see if I can make it through this entire exercise. But it's all 1, 2, 3, 4 on even on every string. Ascend the position and then descend the position and then descend the pattern. Descend the position, ascend the pattern, and then descend the position and descend the pattern. Right. So hundreds, probably thousands of ways to do this. But I'm just taking a very simple, straightforward approach. Down, 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 down. 2. Here we go. not often. I've never seen anything like this. It's a keeper. You know what I mean? It's a keeper for certain. So let's go ahead and do fingers 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. Same thing. 9, 10. Oh, you can hear the dynamic delay going here. 1, 2, 3. It's a real dream machine. And we've got orchestra Greece. Welcome. Congratulations, Scott, on your sterling on your shadow. If you're not familiar with checkers back, this is one of the original California wrestlers. It's one of the original ones. And you can take really good care of it, as you should. Checker is just a really great manufacturer. Like the heel joint or the neck pocket, the neck is cut perfectly. The heel joint and the neck pocket of the guitar is cut absolutely perfectly. And there is absolutely, it's like opening up an Apple product container. You know what I mean? It takes like 7 seconds to open it. You have like, it's really something. So one things that episode, fingers 1, 2, 3, 4. We're kicking that first finger back this time. 1 and a 2 and a T and a 4. 8, 10, 11, 12. And I feel like the time's coming. It takes me a little bit of time to get warmed up to letting the, basically letting the I think I'm, mistakes aside, I think I'm there pretty much. I mean, obviously, we're never really there, but we can always use them. We always have room for improvement. But I feel like we're getting, a little bit closer to being more responsive to the ability for important purposes of dynamic communication. Those hammer-ons were so fast. Did I miss something? I think I missed something. Sweet picking, I guess you call all that. You did clear. Oh, let me think a little bit about what I did. I wanted to get right in. While I'm thinking about that, Milkman, I'd like to start working on fingers 1. I'd like to stretch fingers 1 and 3 for this exercise. So I'm going to work on a stretch between fingers 1 and 2, and then using that same 4-finger pattern. If you want to really look at a bunch of 4-finger patterns, go check out Raul McMahon's guitar YouTube channel. He's just laying it all down. Just check it out. Just some of his videos are really outlining some wild finger patterns, and can't hurt to check those out. So 1, that's what it's going to look like. 10, 11, or 9, 11, 12, and 14 for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's super slow process. It is a super slow process. And then one day it's like riding a bike. And then you all of a sudden just ride a bike. straight elbow's good. Just got a little bit of tension building up there, and you want to take a minute to breathe. So anytime you feel that tension mounting up, don't forget, you can stop, take a breath, it's okay. It's okay, the guitar will be there, and it will be, you'll be a better person once we get back to the guitar from a stretch period. Just a brief stretch, 15 clicks here, 15 clicks here. The same thing that we do here, we will complete on both arms, so that we walk normally. And I would recommend that every day before and after you practice your guitar, just stretch. Just stretch your body out. Some forward bends, like yoga, whatever, 10, 20 minutes would be awesome. Would be great. Half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever you have for time. But it's a good thing to do to keep that body aligned. It does take time. It can take time to get the alternate picking sequencing together. Anything together, really, right? Tying your shoes. Alright. Yeah, the Yamaha makes some great guitars too. You aren't playing to the measurement, right? Well, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. So I can always get the metronome on my mind, and sometimes it will be on my mind. It's there. Here we go. I really like the Yamaha. Thank you. Okay, this is positive grid, very cool octave. I love that positive grid stuff. That stuff sounds great. Feels good too, you know. The Neural DSP stuff is great. The Axe FX3 is awesome. We've recorded a few tracks of those. Yep. Getting teachers from a few teachers doesn't hurt, I think, unless they are wildly different, I suppose. No, I think it's blood green spray, isn't it? They play yellow for Volta. I can. Great question. So let's go ahead and take a look at this other, the exercise we really want to get out of before we start shifting gears today. And I'll probably go back to 4 attacks per beat to just kind of manage this one. It's taking that ninth position, 1, 2, 3, 4, normally would do, and then just kind of using fingers 1, 2, stretch the third finger up to 12, so 9, 11, 9, 10, 12, 13. Maybe we'll use 5s here, okay? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. Don't forget to smile. That's a good point. I was thinking the same thing. How important do you feel is it to know every note on the fretboard by heart? Absolutely imperative. I mean, just look at the string and fret. Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend it. So, it's not imperative. You know, you can play by ear. pentatonic. So let's just start with this. This is all going to be plucked, and then either as we ascend, hammer on, and then pull off is going to be one. So one attack per string. And 16th, what do we do? We take the bucket, the bucket, the bucket, the bucket. Here we go. Being careful of tone. This morning. Nice to see you again. It's Mexico. Good morning, Mexico. We're just in time for the Eclipse of Dover dive. We're just kind of still warming up to Eclipse of Dover. So we're starting with just E minor pentatonic, which we work through. So we wanted to learn how to slur from one note to next. When we ascend, we pluck one attack per string and then hammer on. And then on the descend, we'll go ahead and pluck and then pull. And make those super long legato, clean tones. Every note has the same sound pressure level, dynamic level. So if I pluck this one lightly, I'll pull off lightly. So there's a little bit of so that I don't yank the string off of the string with the fretboard, like this when I pull off. I could push off. I'm not a big fan of push off. I know I have some friends who learn push off, so I don't typically do those, but I'll suffer for it in my lifetime because of whatever. So I'm going to use these pull-offs, but when I do these pull-offs, I want to offer, so I'm two things. I'm pulling down with the finger that is committing the pull-off, and then I'm pushing a counter pressure. So while I'm pulling down with the pinky, I'm pushing up with the index finger to counter that pull down. But then, so I've got this little burst of like push and pull. But then by the time I pull off, that push up with the first finger is gone at the same time. So there's no bend in pitch. That's why we want to do these things slowly here. Anytime you hear it pull off, that's likely what's happening. We don't really deal with that with hammer-ons, though, do we? Nice, easy, controlled, like fret hand work. Now, the thing that he does that we're going to talk about, we'll Do you know what I mean? So it's very intent. It's an intensive. It's totally intended to be a single note line. And then I can coax more tone out of the guitar by not pushing the strings too hard with my picking. Then the second time, instead of just getting up to fret 10, we actually play open G. So this is where the guitar has to be like perfectly in tune. There it is. So we're using an open G, and this is what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about he likes to play root notes, octaves, and then fifths. And then when we come back to that single note, there's quite a bit of vibrato applied here. And it's usually, if you listen to the tempo of the song, the vibrato is usually like broken down into, subdivided into like a rhythmic, it's absorbed into the rhythmic parameters of the breakdowns, subdivisions of the song. So it's not like he's just arbitrarily playing, oh, I'll just wiggle the string when I want. You can hear the metronome clicking at it. So that's what's happening. So the phrasing here, this is a master class in learning about how to minor pentatonicism or pentatonicism in general and lyrical melodic phrasing through, major scale presentation. So very cool stuff. We're working just so what he's doing after this, right? We're going to C5. So I don't know how many of us play C5 like that. I think C5 like Black Sabbath's C5. You know what I mean? I always think about C5 like it's either a root 6, I'm playing Megadeth, or I'm playing Metallica's, For Whom the Bell Tolls, or it's I almost never think about power chords as being root 3 chords. Root being on third string, right? So G, A, B, C, G, A, B, and then C. So we're playing, the guitar is not perfectly in tune, but it'll be okay for now, I think. So we started here with the slide up to the G. Then we change position here, and so we're hearing like we're moving out of that, instead of playing C major pentatonic or A minor pentatonic, instead of playing there, he decides to get that melody kind of lifted up into the next position. Into the next position of the minor or the pentatonic scale. So he's taking one step here in a power, using a power chord, but then separating the melody up into a different position. even though what he played here, he could have just easily just played that line right here. But instead of doing that, you don't have that phrasing, right? So this is really important. Phrasing is super important. You can accomplish the same thing in one position, but we don't get that same flavor in that. It's a little harder to bend that minor string whole step, you know, it just doesn't, you know, it would have to be under the first finger. So it makes sense if you wanted that bend to move that up and out of the position. You know, it's that Hendrix sort of like house shape, right? Here's one wall, here's the other wall, and here's that triangular pattern for the room. So, right, so that's pretty much what's going on there. This is how it gets around. And then there's this other thing that we're going to talk about a little later. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how to use the fingers. So we're also using, this is some hybrid picking sequencing, right? So we're plucking the pick, then we're introducing the middle finger, right? So the middle finger is going to be doing some work too. Could be the ring finger, you know, if you're being gapped, or you know, depends. But I think I'm basically just going to stick with what works for me. That's the pick and the middle finger. So this is an exercise that is basically designed to prepare us for the things, the complicated things that are coming in the sound. Right. These are totally complicated things. But I wanted to talk to you about those tries. I'm going to come back to tries one more time. I know we're getting ready to jump. I can do this in less than 3 minutes. We're up on position number 17, and all we want to do is take a look at this, the G, the C, and the E notes here. Okay? And then this D chord on frets 19 on the D, G, and D string. Then a little bit of A, D, and F sharp here. So G, C, and E, A, D, F sharp. You know, if you want to know the names of the notes, there they are. If you don't want to know the names of the notes, who cares? You know, let them go. Doesn't matter. But the idea is that let me outline this. I'm descending that D major triad, and then I'm ascending the C major triad. Descending the D major triad, ascending the C major triad. 19 on the B, G, and D, and then D, G, and D on fret 17. But between every note, there's a common tone, which the middle finger is going through, which the middle finger is going to make reference, or a tap, or right a tap. So we have this really cool. So let's do this with the metronome because this can get a little bit challenging. So I'm starting with the upstroke, which would be an upstroke, with the middle finger on the 15th fret on the high E string. That 15th fret goes nowhere. You can staple it right down. And we want to make sure that this is nice and clean. We get all of the spatial intelligence in place. Then I made it finally accurately to fret 15 or 17. There we go. So we're descending the D major triad and then ascending the C major triad, all while referencing. So 1E and a 2E and a 2E and a 4E and a. We're in a different time signature here, but this is pretty much what's going on. I would just work on speeding that up over time. breathe. I've got to remind myself to breathe, but we're talking about spatial differences from here every time we consult with the G string. The B string and the middle fingers are close together. The G string, these fingers separate, and the D and B strings, they start to get further apart. So we're really studying multiple things at one time.